Welcome to day 6 of our new Coach Quick Start training. So today is going to be fairly brief. I'm just going to go over some tools and resources that I use that make my life as a coach a hell of a lot easier and hopefully will help your lives too. So I've posted a document in our team page called Tools and Resources, and I will share the screen with you in a minute to show you that. Basically, it lists out all the apps and the things that just make my business easy. So I'm just going to share my screen with you and we will have a look at them. Okay, so if we go into our team page, go into files, and you'll see here tools and resources. It's at the top at the moment, but if you watch this video further down the line, it's probably going to be further down the list because things will be replaced on top of it. So for instance, for tracking, I use, now this has absolutely revolutionized my business since I started using this. I normally use Google Streak, which is mentioned here, and there's a link to a video I created about how to use Google Streak. So it's not the easiest of things when you first look at it, but it is quite simple once you know it. It's also free. You need a Gmail account and it works with Chrome, so you need to install Chrome. It's brilliant at keeping details of your potential clients, your coaches, anything and everything that you need to keep track of, keep it in Streak. But I use my connection builder literally as a daily reminder of who I need to follow up with. So I put the majority of my information in Streak, and then on my connection builder, I literally add like the name and maybe their Facebook ID or their Instagram handle, so I've got an easy way of identifying, and it pops that person's name up on the date that I have specified to follow up with. So you have to add in the date that you want it to follow up with, or remind you to do the follow-up, but it's there on a daily basis, and it's so easy. Whereas with Streak, although you can see the date you're supposed to be following up, unless you get the paid version, it won't remind you who needs to be followed up. So I find I use the combination of Streak and my connection builder, and it works so much better. So it did transform my life. It was follow-ups, which are always my problem. They are still my problem, but my connection builder has made it an awful lot easier. So I also use Excel to track my daily activities. So I have a list of people that I really like, people that I really want to either get on board in my boot camps or people that I want to get on board as coaches. It's called the 10 in play. It just means it's not 10. I put anybody on that list of people that I really want to foster a relationship and I would love to have on my team. And that list means that I will connect with those people more often because it's just a lot it's easier to have their names. I put their names and either their Instagram handles or their Facebook IDs. So it's quick and easy just to sort of locate them. I can go and do a bit of liking and connecting. I can send them some messages. I can foster that relationship. So that's what I use Excel for. And I use the business activity tracker from our coach office for my daily behaviors. So to do the 4 vital behaviors. So I suggest if you've not looked at the business activity tracker already, click this link here and it will take you straight through to it. Download it, use it daily. It'll keep you accountable and it'll give me a good idea. If you're having problems, I can say to you, show me your business activity trackers and we can go through them and we can see where the problems lie. And I promise you, you cannot fail at this business if you do your daily behaviors. It works. You may, if you want big results, you'll have to do the daily behaviors a little more often. I think in the business activity tracker, it suggests to invite between 3 and 5 people a day. I would be inviting a minimum of 10 people a day. If you want to be a 6-figure earner in your first year, you want to be inviting around 60 people a day. That's not necessarily pure invites, that's also follow-ups and connections, but you want to be talking to a minimum of 60 people on a daily basis if you want a six-figure income in your first year. Right, on Instagram, I use Preview. It's a little app that I use on my phone to prepare my Instagram posts. It does offer you some basic filters. You can upgrade to have to pay for Preview, which gives you a better range of filters. But to be quite honest, I just go with what it offers me, and I like my feed to be all. I like bright colors anyway. I'm not too bothered about having everything matching and looking too professional. My brand is very much be real and be authentic, so I don't need everything looking white and pristine and beautiful. Some feeds do, and they look amazing. It's just not me. I mean, look at me now, I'm scruffy. So, you know, my feed reflects who I am, and it's a very colourful feed, and I'm not too bothered about having a complete set of filters to make it all look the same and make it all look really tidy. But that's my brand. You might want to present your feed differently, so do look into filters. There are other things which we'll go through in a minute. So I use Preview. I can upload my posts. I voice record. I use the voice recorder, which then, you know, turns my voice into text. Obviously check the text afterwards, because often it messes up. And then as you see the post in Preview, it will keep it'll keep the gaps in between your paragraphs as you see it in Preview. If you use something like Grambler, which is an application sometimes I use on my desktop to be able to type out a post for Instagram and add my image, when it gets moved onto Instagram, you'll find that a lot of the carriage returns are missing and sentences start, you know, follow on straight away to other sentences, and it just looks messy. So when I can, I will load my my post up into Preview, load my photo up into Preview, and then you can schedule it. It won't post the post for you, but it will send you a reminder. You'll just get a little notification on your Preview app that the post is ready to go. And then all you literally do, you click the post, and then it basically, I mean, have a look at it, but it gives you the opportunity to then paste your post. It automatically copies your post that you wrote earlier before you saved it. Then it pastes it into Preview, and then you can just post it. And you can post it onto your Instagram feed, and also if you've got a Facebook like page, you can post it automatically onto your Facebook like page too. Be a little bit aware of that. Instagram and Facebook, although Instagram is owned by Facebook, the algorithms don't like it if you're sharing an awful lot of stuff across platforms. They prefer it if you post, you know, purely in one platform and then purely in the other platform. You can copy your text across, but don't use the actual apps in order to copy it across. Hope that makes sense. I also use Follow Cop on my phone. I've got Android, so I'm restricted hugely by the apps that we can use, which drives me nuts. I'm getting an iPhone next time, even though I don't want to, but the Android just drives me potty. It's so hard to use Instagram, and because most of my business is run on Instagram, I'm going to have to get an iPhone. But you can use it as a tax write-off, so not all lost. If you have got an Apple, you can use Cleaner app, which a lot of the coaches use, and it's a really good way of getting through people quickly and safely who do not follow you. So there's no point in having followers on your Instagram account who aren't following you back, unless they're like superstars that you follow, and for some reason they're not following you back yet. But otherwise, just unfollow people who don't follow you back. You want to keep the balance right. So you want to be growing your followers, but you don't want to have a massive amount of people that you're following too. So, you know, we'll go into Instagram training in much more detail in the near future, and I'll cover that then. But, you know, just be aware of that. You do need to have an app which allows you to unfollow people. And I just tend to unfollow people who don't follow me back, or unfollow people who I know are just, you know, if I followed them and then I realise, that's not the sort of person I want to follow, I just unfollow them straight away there. Images. So Canva, I use the free version. It's really, really handy for if you want to create like an ebook or a PDF or Facebook headers or Instagram stories. I've got a link here. If you look there, how to create Instagram stories in Canva. That will give you a whole tutorial on how I create some of my more basic Instagram stories. You'll learn a lot about just generally using Canva by watching that tutorial. I also use PicMonkey for, I actually don't use it quite as much as I used to do, because I've started using Canva a lot more now. But if you want to, you know, if you've got like a selfie that you've taken and maybe you want to actually adjust the vibrancy and the light and the balance of the picture, then you're better to do that in PicMonkey. You can't do that sort of thing in Canva. So also in PicMonkey, you can create, well, watch the tutorial here, watch that tutorial there. It will show you how to create text. So you can use some really cool font, and then you can actually make an image appear behind the font. So if you've got like a black or a white background, and then you've got your really cool thick font, then you can make an image come through that, and it can be quite striking, particularly for, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 word quotes, something like that. But it'll all make sense. That tutorial runs on a little bit into using Woofu, which I mentioned below. So Snapseed I use on my phone as well. Snapseed's a really useful way, again, of enhancing images on your phone. I just watched a YouTube tutorial on that. I've not bothered doing one of my own yet because I don't use it that often. WordSwag, again, is brilliant for things like creating quotes. It's got all sorts of backgrounds that you can use, and literally you can choose the size of the image that you want. So whether you want it for your Instagram stories, or you want it square, or whatever the size ratio you want. And then you can choose all sorts of backgrounds, or you can upload your own photographs onto it, and then you can edit that image to make it blurry out, or make it lighter, or make it darker, or make it pop more, or make it black and white, and then you can add text on it. And I actually use WordSwag quite often as well for my Instagram stories. It has got an Instagram story format, and 16:9 is the ratio, I think. And sometimes if I'm doing like a bootcamp post, I'll upload one of my photos of maybe one of my transformation photos. It might be like a profile of my bum or something like that. I know it sounds really rude, but those images get a lot of attention when I put them on my feed. And so I'll use that, but I'll use it really faded. So it's just like sort of a suggestion of, you know, healthy living and what workouts can do on and getting older bottom, and then I put the text on top of it, and that works really well as well. VSCO, that's another app that you can download. Again, it's free. There is a paid version where it opens up a lot more filters. So if you want to go down the filter route, I would check out VSCO. It's not expensive. I don't use it, but it is. I know a lot of coaches do. I use the Clipper app on my phone, which is really cool. So I've got, you can add scripts to it. So I keep several different scripts of hashtags, so that if I'm using my phone for something, I can literally go into Clipper, copy the hashtags, and then it will stay on my clip tray. And on my clip tray, I can't remember, I'm allowed about 12 different things on my clip tray, and it always takes, you know, it'll sort of shift the older ones off the bottom as you add new ones to it. And it also saves them, so you can go in, if your Clipper tray, you know, if you wanted a set of hashtags that you used like 2 weeks ago, they may have already gone off your immediate clip tray, so then you'll have to go back into Clipper and recopy it, and then it's again at the top. But it's a really useful, it's difficult to explain without showing it, but it makes life easy. It doesn't take up much space on your phone. It's also really good for copy and pasting messages if you want to do that sort of thing. So also in the Instagram app itself, there is something called Quick Notes. So if you want to send a message to somebody, for instance, I'm just going to go into it quickly and see if I can quickly talk you through that. I go into my followers and I want to send somebody a message. I don't follow her, but if I wanted to send someone a message, I'm not sure if you can see this, but you on the phone, yeah, there you can see there's that little cross, the plus sign. If I click that, then you have 3 little dots, and if I click those little dots, often it comes up with quick replies. Mine are not loading because my Instagram is rubbish on my phone, but most phones, they work really well, and then you can literally just use those. It's a very quick way of sending out messages if you want to. Trello is brilliant. I don't know what I would do without Trello. It's one of my most valuable resources. I'll show you mine quickly. I've got several. This is my Trello board. It's massive because I've been using it for a long, long time. And I need to sort through it as well. But for instance, like, what could I show you? Like my hashtags. So I've got hashtags for Instagram posts. So literally you give each board a name. Sorry, not board, whatever this thing's called, notelet, a name. And then I've got loads of different hashtags, mixes of hashtags that I use as I go along. And literally I can just go in there and I can select and I can copy, and then I could use that in one of my, well, so actually I'll show you what Grambler is, because I didn't mention Grambler in the tools, because it's a little bit glitchy, but it actually is, if you want to upload a post from your laptop, it works quite well. So this is the Grambler icon down here. So if I click Grambler, so that will come up now, and then it'll load in a minute. Oh, I've got to log in because I see if I can just do it really quickly. I cannot for the life of me remember what my password is. I don't want to go into my passwords document because I'm showing everything. That's Grambler, basically. You can open an account if you want to. It's dead easy. All you do is you upload your photograph, and then you can edit the image, and then you have an area for your text where you can paste that across. So that's what I would load up into Grambler after I typed out my text. So Trello is brilliant. It's good. I mean, you can use it. I've got social media ideas. I've got blog posts and Facebook Lives that I've done. I haven't written in that for a long time. Infographics, I haven't used that for a long time. Facebook group building. You know, when you're learning as a coach, it's really, you know, you'll want to take down URLs, web addresses of various tutorials that you see. You'll see something on YouTube and you'll say, oh yeah, I really want to keep that and remember it. So you'll want an area, and what I do is I put those. I've got one called videos. Where is it? Those are some of my videos. But again, I upload them all to YouTube now, so they're there anyway. I have got one for videos somewhere. Doesn't matter. But you can do a search. So like if I do videos here, and then that will come up. It'll do all these down here, which have got videos in the title. And so it's just a really useful way of keeping yourself organized. And staying on top of everything, because I think the earlier you can stay on top of it all, the more effective you're going to be. And you've got to kind of become independent in this. You can't keep relying on having to ask into groups where things are, you know, when you see something, take a note of it, save it. And I would highly suggest that you open up a Trello board, because they are brilliant. So if I go back into our team page, Google Docs for application forms. I don't use Google Docs, but I know a lot of coaches do. I am currently using Typeform because I think they're brilliant. That Woofu I have used in the past, and there is a little bit about Woofu that I talk about on this tutorial here. Typeform, have a look in it. There's loads of tutorials on YouTube. I don't think I've done a tutorial on Typeform yet, but I could do. It's pretty simple. I mean, I wasn't taught it. I just had a look on Typeform and had to play around with it, and it worked. And then Zoom. This is what I'm doing now. I'm using Zoom to share my screen and talk to you, and it's what I use for our team calls. You can use it for webinars. You can also link Zoom. You can do a Zoom webinar and host it in your Facebook page too. I've never done that yet, but it's something that we'll be doing soon. So Zoom is a fantastic platform. It is free, and there is a paid version. It's not expensive. The paid version obviously just gives you more functionality. You can do longer meetings with more people, but it's fantastic. So I think that's about it on that. And then yesterday you will see that I've uploaded a load of scripts and information and posts and all sorts of things that you will need to know as a coach. You might not need them all just yet, but they're there for you when you do. I've also done a video on how to use Share a Cart. I'll just have a look at that. So you go into our units. I put that, where did I put that? It's in my videos, here we go. So unit 5, how to use Share a Cart. So I created a video yesterday. Have a look at that. If you've got anybody that you want to sign up and send them a cart link to, this is the video that shows you how to do that. Okay, so I think that's it for this one. If you've got any questions, obviously let me know. and get started. If of everything I've just suggested to you, I would open up a Trello board. Start learning about Trello. It's honestly and truly, it has made such a difference to my organisation. It's something I started really early on, and everything that I see that I think is going to be of any use, I dump into Trello. Whether I have time to watch it there and then or not, or deal with it there and then, it doesn't matter. But at least it's in one spot where I know I've got everything that I need to do. So it's like my massive to-do list, and it works incredibly well. And if you've got questions like you want to ask me, rather than just like, if you don't ask me straight away, or if you know we've got a call arranged, rather than having loads of bits of paper hanging around, stick it in your Trello board. Have like a little notes area of things that you want to ask me that I can answer for you. So my dogs are going nuts. So that's it. I hope that has been helpful to you, and I hope everything's going really well. So final day of our quick start videos tomorrow, and I'll get this loaded up as soon as possible. And I hope you're posting for our free group. Starts on Monday. Have a great evening, you guys.